What if the story of a righteous killer is just a convenient, what if a fan of fictional rules decided to play for real, but without any moral filter? This is not fan fiction. This is the case of Mark Twitchell, a man who watched the show too closely and thought the screen he wasn't a ghost. He went shopping, smiled at his neighbors, called himself a filmmaker, dreamed of festivals. His reality, casting calls, cameras, lights, his fantasy, the perfect kill room, planned down to the second. He believed he could stand above the law by copying the coldness of a TV character. This is not about screams, but about silence, where doubts are turned off like a light switch. And this is where our story begins: who he was, how he prepared, and why no TV series can save you from real consequences.
Edmonton, Canada. Ordinary neighborhoods, supermarkets, gas stations where people know your name. In this normality lived Mark Twitchell, a young filmmaker obsessed with movies and storytelling. He loved to talk to his friends about new projects, realistic thrillers. But in his notebooks there were different words. What fascinated him was the show Dexter. Not the moral dilemmas of the hero, but the technique. How to lay down plastic sheets, how to erase traces, how to tie knots. He rewatched scenes over and over, taking notes. Curiosity turned into a catalog. Twitchell rented a garage and transformed it into a kill room. Plastic sheets on the walls, mats on the floor. It looked like a film set. He wrote a diary he called SKConfessions, not a screenplay, but a confession. I want to feel control from beginning to end. Friends noticed changes. He became irritable, secretive, dishonest. But on social media, the same smile, quotes about creativity, posters for films. He practiced poses in the mirror, rehearsed alibis. His life split in two: the storefront and the secret workshop. The main tool was the internet, a dating site, a fake profile, light conversation. Words carefully chosen to build trust, an address, a time, a promise of a quick meeting. On paper, everything was ready. All he needed was someone to answer. In Twitchell's notes, doubts disappeared. His language became technical: restraint, disposal, cover-up. He wrote everything down: route, time, materials, excuses in case something went wrong. The fake female profile had photos, simple messages. Let's meet on the corner. It'll be quick. Inside the garage, everything was prepared. Plastic sheets, lights, tools. He even rehearsed movements like an actor on a stage. He convinced himself he had thought of everything: where to park the car, how to turn off the phone, what to say to friends. But the most dangerous part was the contact with a living person. That was unpredictable. So he wrote down control points: how to distract attention, when to close the door, where to stand. On paper, the plan looked flawless. In reality, there are always accidents. But Twitchell believed in his perfect scheme. He pressed send in the chat and waited for the reply. The conversation moved quickly. Evening, street lights throwing yellow circles on the wet pavement. A man walked to what he thought was a date, fresh shirt, phone in his pocket, a little excitement. He thought he was going to meet a woman. The garage door was slightly open. The light inside looked natural. He stepped in. Behind him, the door closed. The space became a trap. Seconds decided everything. A glance, a movement, the direction of the light. But the chance to turn back was gone instantly. We don't see the violence, only hints, plastic sheets, silence, the absence of life. Outside, buses passed, dogs barked, people went home. Nobody heard what was happening behind that door. Then came the cleanup. Not catharsis, not triumph, just mechanical work. Wipes, bleach, garbage bags, accounting for horror. But the plan broke where it couldn't be controlled. Digital traces. The victim's phone stopped answering. Friends got worried. The last message stayed in the chat. These digital crumbs would lead the police straight to the garage. The missing person report started the chain. Detectives built a timeline. Who saw him? Who chatted when the phone went silent? The evidence led to the garage. Inside, traces of blood, chemicals, bleach, and the diary. SKConfessions. Pages that read almost like a confession. Police restored deleted files, matched dates, routes, signals. Each detail confirmed the bigger picture. The press gave him a nickname quickly, the Canadian Dexter. But in court, this wasn't a TV show. It was dry facts, evidence, witnesses, forensics. The defense tried to claim the writings were literature, an experiment, but the timelines matched too perfectly. The jury didn't buy it. The trial lasted weeks. Witnesses testified. The landlord, the neighbors, the people in the chats, everything added up. The prosecutor's statement was simple. This was intent. The verdict, guilty. The sentence, life in prison, without parole. The man who dreamed of full control lost it forever. Today, the garage is empty. In daylight, it looks ordinary. Dust, metal doors, forgotten tools. But knowledge changes the way you see it. Every corner is a reminder of what happened there. It's tempting to explain it all with the TV show. But a series is not an instruction manual. A knife is not a reason. Between fantasy and action lies choice, and that choice is what makes a killer. Fictional heroes follow codes. In reality, there is only the law. The court puts the period where the killer tried to erase it. The important thing is not his nickname, it's the victim and the life that was lost. For their family, there is no ending credits, only an endless after. This case reminds us, danger often hides in normality, and the best protection is caution. Share your location, check addresses, don't trust strange invitations. True crime stories aren't here to glorify killers. They're here to expose mechanisms, so we can recognize them in time. A series can end. Consequences cannot.